Yeah. Hi. Good morning, all of you guys. I hope all of you can hear me. Anyone, guys? Can you please confirm? Is I'm audible? Right. Right, guys. Thank you. So, guys, I think some new guys has been joined. I think last week they have been joined. As we already discussed about that. Like it's an just started. Like a core Python concepts are going on. Last class we have been seeing about the basic concepts of functions. Functions is a common language which everywhere in any language we can see that. So the same thing we have been got discussed. So the guys who has been missed the previous classes, if you already have the idea about Python, there is nothing issue is there. But if you don't have the idea about the Python, it's no need to worry about them, guys. Why? Because Python is a simple language to learn it. Actually, anybody can learn it. There is a recorded videos will be there, as well as some kind of a Python videos also will be shared with you. You can just go through them and we can start with that. All these are just like a basic concepts only, guys. So almost all today and maximum today I'll complete of all the basic concepts from whatever the topics which we are going to start from tomorrow. That is going to be the main important concepts, guys. Okay. Remaining just as hardly just a basic concepts are required. Meanwhile, you can just learn those particular things either from the recorded videos or either from the whatever the videos that has been going to be shared from the DURGASOFT. The Python videos are there, as well as my class videos are also there. Both of them are available. And don't think that you need to be an expert in Python, just only basic classes only, guys. I think hardly 2 weeks classes, not more than that. Okay, so hardly 2 weeks classes is we are going to just refresh the concepts of Python. If you already have the idea, well and good. If you don't have the idea also, there is nothing problem or nothing issue is going to be there actually, guys. Okay. So already have been got discussed with this with the last who has been got joined in the last session. If you have any questions, I'll take up the questions, guys. Anybody join for the today's class? Today is your first class. Anyone is there? Can you just let me know?
Hi, sir. It's
Yeah, yeah,
Ishwari.
Ishwari. Yeah.
This is my first class.
Okay, okay. Do you have any prior knowledge of Python?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, so well and good. You can just go ahead. Regarding the data science, my backend team is going to record. Just it's an introduction classes only because you came here to learn about data science. So like what is data science and what do we do it in data science? Just a small 3 classes of introduction has been happened. Anyhow, my backend team is going to share you those recordings. You can just go through them and you can just continue the sessions if you're interested to take up. Anyhow, in the main classes, we are going to be having the main concepts of machine learning once again with a completely the discussion about that will be there, right?
Okay, sir. So,
Okay.
as per curriculum, now Python will be covered. Then,
Currently, Python is going on like a brush up classes. See, some people know, some people does not knows. No, that is the reason why we taken the started with the Python classes.
sure,
That too,
sir.
not a complete Python also. So you right now you know it, no, like what is list, what is dictionaries, what are set objects, what are tuples. You don't know these concepts, right?
Not all of that, sir. Only till list I have idea.
Okay. Do you know about how to slice the list and all these things? Slicing of the list,
Yes, sir. I know all of
slicing of
that.
the list, and basically how to write if statement for statements in Python.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, you have it actually. Functions concept
Functions concept also I know.
also same. That is the only thing we has been happening.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Okay. So if you have any,
Yeah.
if you want to learn, you can learn from the recorded videos.
Sure, sir. I'll see
Okay.
the recorded videos
Yeah.
once.
If you have any questions on machine learning or data science, today at the end of the class, I'll just give some 15-20 minutes of time. I will take a little bit questions on that if you have any questions on
Definitely,
that.
sir.
Okay,
Sure.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Rupesh, as I told you, no, it is not, yeah. Okay, that is fine, Rupesh. You are at the first class. You don't have the idea about that. Just as I told you, no, even if you do not have that much idea also, it is not a mandatory thing. Meanwhile, you can learn those things from mainly from maximum. These are all just like a brush up classes. Even if you don't have the idea, don't worry. Just attend 1 or 2 classes you attended. After that, you can automatically understand what I'm talking about that, because Python is not a complicated language to understand it. Okay, if you already have some knowledge of about any other programming language, it's easy to understand it. Don't worry. Just attend 1 or 2 demo classes you attended. Then automatically you can just understand what I'm talking about and what I'm currently discussing about. Okay, Rupesh? Fine. Just attend 1 or 2 classes you attended. So after that, you can decide it actually. Meanwhile, I'll tell you like how to learn the things actually. Okay, fine. Any other sales guys who has been joined for the today's class? If you have any questions, right? Okay, so let's go ahead, guys. Don't worry. So any guys who has been do not have any idea about the Python. If you don't have any knowledge about Python also, yeah. I did not notice your chat. You can see there, no chat we can see there. Okay.
No, Vamshi, actually, Ishwari messaged me. I didn't notice at that point of time. So after once you started like answering to her, then I went to the chat window and I saw her message.
Okay, fine. All right. Okay, fine, right? Okay, fine, guys. So in the last session, so guys, don't worry who has been joined for the today's class or who do not have any idea about Python. Don't worry, guys. It's a generic concept only I'm talking about. Okay. So Python is not a very complicated language. Hardly, guys, whatever the concepts we have been covered, hardly if you just sit for 1 hour session, actually, guys. Correctly, if I teach you 1 hour, that is sufficient. Okay. Even if you feel that you are unable to get it from the recorded videos, sir, we are unable to understand the recorded videos, or you are able to understand that, don't worry. If you want, I can take one extra session and I will just refresh all the topics what that has been already covered in the Python. Hardly 1 hour class will be there, guys. Not more than that, it will be there. Okay. Very simple, very easy. Just a small discussions kind of a thing has been happened. Okay. Fine. So once again, guys, in the last class, we have seen about the functions concept. We have been seen about the functions concept. We have been seen about them, guys. What are functions? I have been got discussed about that. Once again, just to recap the things, guys, function is nothing but a piece of code. We can say that a piece of code which can be used for reusability purpose. It is going to be reusability purpose. Mainly two reusabilities. User need not to write the code every time. User need not to write the code each and every time. That is, from user point of view, it is reusability. User can write the code only for one time and they can call it directly as many times they can call it. And even from system point of view also, it need not to compile the code each and every time. It need not to compile it. So system point of view, it is an advantage, and user point of view also, it is an advantage. Both of them are going to be talking about reusability. But how to call it, how to you reuse it, actually, there must be some name must be there. It is a block of code or a piece of code, which is going to be having some kind of a name will be there. Name and what are the inputs? Because I told you about that. If you want to make the function to be generalized, we have to pass some inputs. And every function is going to be having some kind of a return data type. In Python, we don't have a return data types. Why? Because Python is a dynamically typed language. We don't have any data types at all. So just for a quick understanding, guys, if anybody has been missed the last class, how do you create the functions in Python actually, guys? Diff, what is going to be the name of the function? What is going to be the name of the function? And just we have to pass the required arguments, whatever the arguments you want to pass. And after that, you don't write like a, we don't use any curly brackets mechanism like other languages. We use a colon. Automatically, there is an indentation will come. Indentation is nothing but a tab space will come actually, guys. Here in Python, tab space is most important. Indentation, what we call it as indent. That is what we call it as an indent, what we are going to call it as. So indent is a tab space. So with indent, if you write the code, all that code is going to be comes under one level. If you write without the indent, it is outside the function. If you write with the indent, it is going to be inside the function. Specifically, it is used in almost all in every if statement we are going to use it. Once again, if statement we are going to use it actually, guys. Else in other languages, we use something like an curly brackets mechanism. But here we don't have the curly brackets. It is going to be just like an, which is going to be with indentation. We have to write it. Even when you're writing a while statement, for statement also, for statement is also something different actually, guys. For variable in iterable object actually, for variable and iterable object, if you use any iterable object, you have to use, and just we have to put a colon and we have to write the code, whatever the code you want to write it. That's it. That is going to be how do you write it actually, guys. So last class, I've just shown you some few functions. I've shown you a few functions I have been showing you, guys. We can just go through the functions and we can do it actually. Just a small function. I've written a function to find out whether it is a even or a odd. Just a simple example, diff, which is going to be find, which is going to be even or odd. Which number you want to find out? The given number. So input is n. In other languages, we write integer n, but here we don't write integer n, simply write n. And you know what we have to do that? Simple condition. If n percentile 2 is equivalent to 0, colon. Here it is one colon, here is another colon. So next level, again, next level it is going to be. We have to say return, which is going to be, I said, which is an even number. Else must be written here. So you have to write the hierarchy like this actually, guys. Else, if and else must be with the same indentation, and this must be with a different indentation. Return, which is going to be something like an odd. We have to do that actually. That's it. This is how we are going to be writing this if and else if part, what we are going to write it actually. That's the way actually, guys. And how to call the function, we have been discussed. Simply we have to write which is going to be find even or odd, which is going to be something like an input. If I give 10, your output is going to be coming like an even. And if I give something like a same function, if I give 11, we'll get odd number as an output, what we can see that. Okay. So only thing, guys, don't get worried about that. This is a Jupyter notebook. I'll tell you how to install the Jupyter notebook also. If anybody who has been joined today, I'll explain you at the end, just last 15 minutes. I'll just explain how to install that particular Jupyter notebook also. Okay. And how to open the Jupyter notebook and how to install it also. I'll show you the application. It's a Jupyter notebook actually, guys. It will open. Just wait for a 2 minutes of just not 2 minutes, just a few seconds if you can see. So this is going to be Jupyter notebook actually, guys, which we are going to use it for writing our Python code actually. So like we know it, no, like if you want to work with Java, we use Eclipse. But if you want to use some other language, we are using some other thing. Here also the same thing actually, guys. So very simple actually, guys. A web-based. It is completely web-based. So go to the new menu and just go to the Python 3 actually. It will just open a Jupyter notebook and we can just run the code as usually, guys. Just like a cell will have some code. We can just write that code and we can just execute it. Just run the code here, guys. Here there is a run a code. If you want to add a new cell, we can add a new cell. If you want to cut the cell, you can cut the cell. That's it actually. We don't require much knowledge about that. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about, okay, already we have been discussed about how to create the functions and how to call the functions. So today we are going to discuss a little bit more details into the function, and that is also going to be a generic concept only, guys. You can apply not only to the Python, you can apply any language. In any language, we can apply it actually, guys. With any language, it's not only here, we can apply with any language, we can apply it. Okay, so while you are calling the functions, just to understand the concept, I'll do one small example actually, guys. Let me try to do a small example. Just a second. Right. Yeah, let me do a small example actually, guys, which is going to be something like I'm following a Python style of programming, guys. Diff, which is going to be something like a test function. I'm going to be writing it actually, guys. Just a test function. Let us say X, Y, Z. I'm not taking much code here. Just I want to return what you want to return actually, guys. So 3 times the X plus, which is going to be 5 times the Y plus, let us say 2 times the Z actually, guys. So indirectly, it is just like a mathematical expression. 3x plus 5y plus, which is going to be 2z. That means whatever the input you have been got passed, the x argument will be multiplied by 3, y argument will be multiplied by 5, and z argument is going to be multiplied by 2, sum of them, and we have to get the output. You know how to call the function actually, guys. Diff, which is going to be, all of you know it, but once again, just I'm going to be discussing about this one, guys. 10, 20, 30. You all of you know that whenever we pass the data like that, automatically the X, Y, Z will be taken in the same order what we have been got passed. So 10 will goes to X, 20 will goes to Y, 30 will goes to Z. In the same order as it is, if you pass it, as it is, whatever the order you have been passed, same order it is going to be passed. So according to the logic, what is an output actually? It is going to be 3 times the 10, which is going to be 5 times the 20, plus which is going to be 2 times the 30 actually, guys. So it is going to be 3 times the 10 is 30, 5 times the 20 is going to be 100, which is going to be 130 plus which is going to be 60. So result is going to be 190 is the result what we can get. If I was not wrong. So 3 times the 10 is 30, 5 times the 20 is 100, 2 times the 30 is going to be 60. It is 190. But if I call the function in a different order actually, guys. For example, if I said which is going to be same test function of, for example, if I pass like 30, 10, 20, It does not takes like 10 goes into X, 20 goes into Y, 30 goes into Z. It does not like that. 30 is going to be goes to X, 20 is 10 is going to goes to Y, and 20 is going to be goes to the Z. Same order it will take it. Whatever the order you have been passed, same order as it is, it will be passed. Now, according to the logic, it is going to be 3 times the 30 plus which is going to be 5 times the 10 plus which is going to be 2 times the 20 actually. So output is going to be 50, 5 into 10, 50, 50 plus which is going to be 90, which is going to be 140, 140 plus which is going to be 40, which is going to be 180 is the result actually. So whenever we are passing the arguments like this is what the general way which we are going to call it as the positional arguments, what we are going to call it as, guys. They are called as positional arguments, meaning that is according to the position there are going to take it actually. According to the positions it will take it. First argument will goes to the first argument, second argument goes to the second argument, third argument goes to the third argument. According to the positions only there are going to be takes it actually. But as you know that whenever you want to pass the order like this 30, 10 and 20, but our requirement is 10 has to go to X, 20 has to go to Y, 30 has to go to Z. I want to provide in a different order, but 10 has to go to first, second value has to go to first argument, third value has to go to second argument, first value should go to third argument. So whenever we want to pass like that, then the case is going to be nothing but we can call, sorry, just a second. While calling, no need to use diff keyword. Sorry, guys. Maybe I mistakenly have written, but while calling, you don't write it. We don't require it actually. Sorry. It is test function of. So in that case, what we can do is, guys, you can specify which argument is going to be which value. So I want to make this 30 to Z. So I'll say Z equals to 30. I want to pass the 10 equal to X. So X is equal to 10. And the 20 to Y actually. So we have to say Y equal to 20. So order is 30, 10, and which is going to be 20. 30, 10, and 20 is the order, but we are not going to be passing in the same order. But finally, the order is going to be the same only. So what will be the output actually again? It is going to be 3 times the particular 10 only, 3 times the 10 because X will be taken into 10. Y will be taken as a 20, which is going to be 5 times the 20. Plus Z is going to be taken as a 30. So Z is equal to 30. So which is going to be 2 into 30 because 2 times the Z output is again 190 only. Why? Because order may be different, but finally we are providing the correct order actually. So either if you provide like this directly, guys, if I directly provide like this, it is positional arguments. If I provide with the names of the arguments like this, hope all of you remembered, they are called as, generally in other languages we call it as a named arguments, what we call it as. In Python there are going to be separate name is there actually, guys. They are called as keyword arguments, we call it in Python. In other languages we call it in named arguments, but in Python notation we are going to call it as the Python community has been used the keyword called as, which is going to be the keyword arguments, what they call it as. Keyword arguments. Why they have called as a keyword arguments? We are using some keywords X, Y, Z, or any name you can give it. It's not that only X and Y and Z. You can give any name, whatever you want to give it. So they are called as a keyword arguments actually, guys. So named arguments or a keyword arguments. Generally in Python notation, they are called as keyword arguments. So what is an advantage of using the keyword arguments? We have to provide the name, but you can provide whatever the order you want to specify that. Your required order. It's not that we have to follow the same order actually. But in positional arguments, it is very simple to provide. So actually simple to use. But the main thing here is we have to follow the same order has to be followed. Same order must be followed actually, guys. You have to follow the same order only. So, sorry, must be followed. Sorry, must be followed. Whatever the order is there, same order. If I give 10, 20, 30, X is 10, Y is 20, Z is 30. If I provide 30, 10, and 20, X will be 30, Y will be 10, Z will be 20. But here I'm providing 30, 10, and 20 only. Same order I'm providing, but I changed the order. 30 has to go to Z, the 10 has to go to X, and 20 has to go to Y actually. So this is what we are going to call it as a keyword arguments, what we are going to call it as. In other languages, I think hope all of you remembered that, which is going to be, we can pass it simply by writing the name of the argument and we can pass it actually. Don't say A equals to Z or B equals to 20. Whatever the name you have been got, use same names as it is we have to use. For example, unfortunately, if you said A equal to 20, you will get an error saying that, which is going to be the unknown keyword argument called as an A. It is an unknown keyword argument A, or something like an invalid keyword argument A is going to be given as an error. Why? Because compulsory, whatever the names you are using, these names must be compulsory available in the function definition. Otherwise, it won't be executed. So what is my main point of discussion here actually, guys? My main point of discussion here is, yes, all of you know that what is keyword arguments, what are going to be positional arguments. But sir, can I combine both of them? Because that is most important in our Python actually, guys. So why I'm specifically pointing about this one is that is most important for even Python. Why? Because I told you in the last class actually, learning Python is all about calling a functions only, guys. So learning Python means don't think that learning Python means you are not going to learn any logics. We don't require to learn any logics actually, guys. There is no need to require any logics or no need to remember any script. Nothing is going to be required. Learning Python is going to be nothing but just we have to know how to call the functions. How to call the functions is what we are going to call it as an, which we can say that it is going to be what we are going to be learning as part of the Python. We are going to learn it actually, guys. So that is going to be all about how we are going to be gets working with them. That is the reason you should be more familiarity with this particular calling of the functions actually. Creating a functions, we don't create it also actually, guys. Not that much frequently we'll create it. We don't create that much frequently also. Function creation is a very rare cases. We don't create it, guys. We are going to use them because, as I told you, in the last class I told you, user-defined functions and which is going to be system-defined functions. User-defined function means we'll create it. System-defined function means already created by the Python we are going to be using. So we are going to learn everything as part of that implementation actually, guys. Everything is going to be calling a function. We'll see them. Everywhere you write the Python code, see anywhere you see the code, Python is going to be nothing but calling just a function only. That's it. Just a calling a function only. We are going to do that. So that is the reason we have to know how to call the function easily. So how to call it by using positional arguments and how to call it by using keyword arguments. Sir, can I combine both positional arguments and keyword arguments? Is it possible to combine? Is it possible to combine both positional arguments and keyword arguments? So for that only our discussion is there actually, guys, because your functions are going to take too many arguments. Your Python functions will take too many arguments. So unless and until if you are not familiar with both of them, we can't handle them actually. Okay. Now have a look at this one. Same example we can call it, but now I'm combining. See, all positional arguments is fine. All keyword arguments. So here it is going to be Z equal to, guys, not A equal to, Z equal to. That is also, sorry. Sorry, guys, it is Y equal to, not Z, because we already have the Z here now. Okay. So it is going to be Y equal to 20. So all of them positional argument is fine. All of them are going to be keyword argument, that is fine. But what about the positional plus keyword actually, guys? Carefully look at this one, guys. I'm talking about both positional plus, which is going to be a keyword concept, what we are going to be talking about. Sir, can I combine both positional and keywords? Yes, we can follow it. But there are some rules are there actually, guys. Just a very simple set of rules are there. Very simple set of rule actually, guys. See, guys, a positional argument can be followed by a keyword argument. That means if I use a positional, after positional keyword is allowed. Simple case, guys. But after keyword, positional is not allowed. That's it. After keyword, positional is not allowed. So whenever we are calling the function, if we use first, however the order, all positional followed by positional is fine. Positional followed by positional is fine. Keyword followed by keyword is also going to be fine. Okay. But the only thing here is, a positional can be followed by a keyword. After positional argument, we can use the, what is going to be nothing but, we can use the keyword actually, guys. Okay. And whenever we are talking about the keyword, after keyword, we cannot use a positional. This has to come with a practice actually, guys. Don't try to by heart the things in Python. because Python contains too many concepts actually, guys. Too many concepts it contains. So if you try to by heart the thing, so many concepts your brain has to remember. But never try to by heart anything. Not only here, in any language, we recommend the same thing actually. But whenever in some kind of a languages, some kind of a languages where the number of concepts are very few, we'll say that simply by heart the things. But here too many concepts are there. So don't try to by heart the things, just try to understand. It comes with a practice. After positional, we can use the keyword, but after keyword, we cannot use a positional. That means, for example, once again, I'm talking about the same argument, same function. If you see, how can you call the function, guys? Test function. Okay, if you want, you can write it like this, guys. 10 comma z is equivalent to 30, y is equivalent to 20. This is fine, guys. See, guys, if you observe carefully, this is positional. Positional followed by a keyword, keyword followed by keyword. I don't discuss about that. Keyword followed by a keyword, positional followed by a positional. We never bothered about that. Automatically 10 will goes into X and 20 will goes into Y because I specified the order, and 30 will goes to, which is going to be Z. Again, the output will be as usually 190. No difference at all. Because X is 10, Y is 20, Z is 30. Say 190 will be the output. But what is not allowed actually, guys? Test function of, for example, if I said X equal to 10, Y equal to 20, sir, there is only one left over Z. No, why don't you give 30? This is not allowed, guys. Why it is not allowed? Keyword followed by keyword is valid. I don't have a problem with this one actually. Keyword followed by keyword, I don't have a problem. But keyword followed by a positional, don't think that, guys. Sir, only there are 3 arguments are there. Already we specified X, already we specified Y. Why don't it automatically takes it as a Z? It won't take it actually. So this is not a valid case, guys. This is not a valid case. So whenever we are calling the function, please follow this rule. If I use positional, after positional, you can have positional or keyword, no problem. After keyword, you can have keywords, but you cannot have a positional. That is what I mean to, or what I want to explain as part of this particular applications. Now have a look at this. I will create the functions and I'll show you the concepts actually, guys. So same function I'm going to be creating, guys. Let me show you practically, guys. It's a case sensitive language. So diff, what is going to be test function? I'll show you the example, guys. X, Y, and Z. What I want to return. See, guys, automatically when I put a colon, automatically there is an indentation is coming automatically. Tab space is coming automatically. Don't think that some let us say that something wrongly the space has came. And if we write something like a return, what is the values we want to return actually, guys? 3 times the X, 5 times the Y, plus 2 times the which is going to be Z. If I execute this, you will get an error. Expected and indented block. So compulsory, there must be some indent must be there actually, guys. This is the concept what we have to write it. This is a concept. This is a concept what we have to write it actually, guys. Now call the functions. How many times you call it, however the ways you call it, it does not matter. Play with them, guys. I don't say practice them. I simply say that play with them, because all these are going to be a very simple concepts actually, guys. As already told you, it is going to be this one. You can call it in the same line actually, guys. You don't require any multiple lines. For example, if I said 30, 20, and if I said 10, I think we have got 180 or 210, whatever may be the result. I think 30, 10, and 20 will say that. We have got 180 as the result. Why? Because X will be taken as 30, Y will be taken as 10, Z will be taken as 20. But if I want to follow the same order, but I want to change the order here now, then the technique is test underscore function of, which is going to be Z equal to 30, X is equivalent to 10, and Y is equivalent to 20. Fine, done. Same result is coming, 190, 180, 190 is coming actually. Let me call it in the next line actually, guys. Have a look at this. Test underscore function of. Okay. So see, guys, I'm pressing the tab key. Tab key is nothing but it is an auto completion actually, guys. Better to always use auto completion. Mainly there are 2 advantages. One is it saves your time. Okay, it saves your time. Second thing is going to be you don't have any typos. We don't have any the errors, we don't have it actually. Sometimes the spellings may goes wrong. Sometimes you may mistakenly give some other difference. Sometimes underscore is there, underscore is not there. We'll get confused with that. So test function of, simply we can call the application 10 comma Z is equal to, which is 30, and y is equivalent to 20. So first argument will be taken as, which is going to be, the first argument is going to be taken as, the first argument is going to be taken as n, which is going to be x. The second argument will goes to z, third argument will goes to y actually. So result is 10, 20, 30 only. Result is as usually 190. So you call it as many times you can call it test function of, you can say that, which is going to be 10 comma 30 comma if you want, but 30 will goes to y actually, guys. Okay, and z equals to 30 or z equals to 20, whatever you want. Execute it. According to that, we'll get the result. So 30 into 5 is 150. It's going to be 3 into 10 is 50. 150 plus this one is going to be this one. So how much? 30 into 150. Yeah, 150 plus, which is going to be 3 times the 10, which is going to be 180. 180 plus 2 into 20, 40 is going to be 220. So a positional argument followed by positional, I don't have a problem. Positional followed by keyword, I don't have a problem. But after keyword, don't use positional. Okay, anyhow, this is going to be the functionality. Test function of, so don't think that x is equivalent to 10, y is equivalent to 20. So there is only z is there, no? So why should I give the z? If I directly give 30, will it accept it? No, it won't accept it actually, guys. Very clearly, we are going to get the error. Positional argument follows the keyword argument. The positional argument follows the keyword argument. Or simple to say that a keyword argument is followed by a positional argument. This is not allowed. See once again, positional followed by positional, positional followed by positional, no problem. Positional followed by positional, positional followed by position, we don't have a problem. Keyword followed by keyword, which is going to be keyword followed by keyword, which is going to be this is going to be the keyword, that is also going to be fine. I don't have a problem. But here, positional followed by keyword, keyword followed by keyword, no problem. Positional followed by positional, position followed by keyword, I don't have a problem. Keyword followed by keyword, I don't have a problem. But keyword followed by positional, see, the error is going to be at the, which is going to be this value, what we can see it actually. So this is going to be how we are going to be gets working. So this is going to be, which is going to be the one what we are going to be gets doing this actually, guys. Okay. So that is going to be the one which we are going to be gets working with that. So see, it is an error. Only thing is going to be that one actually, guys. We have to just follow the basic, whatever that particular basic functionality is. So which we have to work with them actually. Apart from that, nothing is going to be there actually, guys. Nothing is going to be there. Okay. So that's it actually, guys. This is going to be one concept which we have to learn. But why I'm specifically insisting more about this? Generally in other languages, when you are learning other languages, they don't insist that much. They don't, which is going to be, they don't concentrate much on that. Why? Because that is not that much important there. But here it is important. It is important for us. 2 arguments, 3 arguments, I don't have a problem, guys. But tomorrow if I have 30 arguments are there, how can you remember the order? Nobody can, even I also can't remember. Even I also can't remember, guys. Why? Because all these functions are going to take not just like a 2, 3 arguments, it is not taking. For example, there is a length function is there. Length will take only 1 argument only, isn't it? Length will take only just 1 argument only, guys. It is returning the number of items in the container. Just if I give length of hello, it is going to be giving you how many characters are there. 1 argument, I don't have a problem. But the problem comes is whenever we are having too many arguments. I'll show you one example. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Okay. So import, don't worry about this, guys. I'll just anyhow, we'll see all this in the coming classes. I imported a library, pd dot. Have a look at this function actually, guys. How many arguments this function will take? How can you remember the order? Even I also can't remember. First argument, I remembered. Second argument, I remember. Third argument, I can remember. After that, I can't remember the arguments. See, guys, how many arguments are there? File path, separator, delimiter, header, names, index column, use column, squeeze. Not over with them, guys. See, if I scroll it down, so many arguments are there. So how can you represent them? For example, I want to specify the decimal point. Which position it is? I don't know. I can't count it. Which position it is? I can't count it. That's why I'm going to use mostly with the keyword arguments. Mostly, guys, mostly we depend on the keyword argument. Mostly. Okay. Maybe first or second arguments will give positional. Generally, 1 or 2 arguments will give it like an, which is going to be like a general, which we are going to give it like a positional arguments. But once if you cross the first, second, third, maximum we are going to use a keyword arguments only we are going to use. Will completely depend only on the keyword arguments, guys. So that's why you should be very careful. Keyword can be followed by a keyword, but a keyword cannot be followed by a positional. That is most important. Otherwise, what will happen here is your function won't execute it. Okay. This is going to be the one concept we know that. So mainly positional with positional is fine. Positional keyword followed by keyword is fine. Positional followed by a keyword is also fine, but keyword followed by a positional, this is going to be an error actually. So problem is with this 30, not with the y equal to 20. Why? Because it is. For example, if I said x equal to 10, y equal to 20, I don't have a problem with the y. Again, the problem is with the 30 only. Execute. Positional argument again follows the keyword argument. Keyword argument followed by a positional, which is going to be, that is a problem actually. But positional followed by a keyword, I don't have a problem. You can see the same thing. But for example, if I said x equal to 10 and if I write like this, now the problem is at the 30 actually, guys. Again, the same problem. The problem is at the 20. Sorry. The problem is at the 20 only actually, guys. Okay. So the error is going to be in the function. It is saying that a keyword followed by a particular, which is going to be positional, that is not a valid case. All of them positional, no problem. All of them are all of the keyword, not a problem. Keyword followed by keyword, not a problem. Positional followed by keyword, not a problem. But keyword followed by positional, that is going to be the problem actually, guys. Okay. So this is going to be one of them. One thing you have to remember it actually, guys. And second and most important thing is, we all of you know that a function is defined with 3 arguments. Compulsory, we have to provide only and only 3 values only we have to do that. While calling, you have to give, which is going to be only 3 arguments, only 3 values only we have to give. If we give more than the required, if I give less than the required, you'll get an error. For example, if I say 10 and 20 executes, you will get an error very clearly. It is saying that test function missing one required positional argument z. Required, it's very clearly missing one required positional argument z. You have to give a value for the third argument z, but there is no argument. For example, if I give more than the required, then you will get an error saying that it takes only 3 positional arguments, but you have been given 4. So more than the required is an error. Less than the required is also going to be an error. Exactly, we have to provide the same number of arguments. Exactly 30 only we have to. Only 3 arguments. If it contains 3 arguments, 3 arguments only. For example, you can check with any function actually, guys. Length is a function. Length will take only 2 arguments. Sorry, 1 argument. If I give more than 1 argument, obviously again we'll get an error. Length of, for example, welcome, comma, hello. If I say, don't think that we'll get the length of both welcome and hello. We don't get it actually, guys. Length function takes exactly only 1 argument, but you have been given 2. That is a problem actually. Must and should, it should be only 1 argument only we have to give. For example, if I give like the welcome and hello in a square brackets, then it will allow it. But it is not going to tell you what is the length of welcome and what is the length of hello. It is going to only tells you the length of the list, which is going to be 2 only is an output, what will get it. It won't tell you the length of welcome separately, welcome, hello. It is going to be welcome and hello is another object now. It is a list object actually, guys. It's a list object. Just an example I'm telling. It's a list object actually. Something like that. We can just work with this kind of an applications, what we have to do it actually, guys. Okay. So that is going to be all about how we are going to be gets working with this kind of the functionalities. But there is one small exception case is there. There is a small exception case is there. If the function is taking 3 arguments, you can pass even 2 arguments also. You can pass 2 arguments. Then we have to specify that if I don't provide the third argument, take some default value. That is what we are going to call it as, guys. Default these are called as a default value concept. They are nothing but what we are going to call it as default values, guys. We all of you know, that means you already have an idea about the default values in other languages also. What is meaning of a default value means, in the case if you don't provide a value for a particular argument, if I don't provide an argument, then automatically what it is going to do is, it is going to take which is going to be a default value, it will take it. You may have an idea. Default value means if you don't give the value, it will take some value actually. Like for example, the same example will say it actually, guys. Like for example, diff, which is going to be the same test function. Test underscore function, I'll write in, and I'm going to say that which is going to be x, y, and I said z equal to 0 actually, guys. So what do you mean to say z equal to 0 means if you don't provide a value for the z, it will take by default z as a 0. Like in earlier case, we don't get the error. Same number I'm giving actually, guys. 3 times the x plus 5 times the y, 5 times the y plus, which is going to be 2 times the z. If you give the value, it will take your value. If you don't give the value, then it is going to be 0. For example, if I call the function, test function of, if I say 10, 20, 30, the result is going to be as usual. I think I need not to calculate it, guys, 190. But this time, whenever I set test function of 10, 20, then it will works. Currently, it is not working actually, guys. Currently, it is not working, right? If I give 10 and 20, it is not working. Why? Because it's compulsory, the third argument is required. But in this case, it is not required. In this case, it is not required. Why? Because the default value is going to be taken as n, which is going to be the 0 is the default value it will take. So according to the logic, it is 3 times the 10 is going to be 30. 5 times the 20 is going to be 100. 100 plus 30 is going to be 130 is the result we will get it. But if you provide test underscore function of, which is going to be if I give only 10, then it is an error. Why? Because the function minimum requires 2 arguments. Minimum requirement is 2 arguments. Maximum is 3 arguments. If you want to make everything default, you can make everything default actually, guys, which is going to be the test function of, which is going to be if I said x equal to 0, y equal to 0, z equal to 0. All the 3 have been given the 0. Colon, say, no need to change the code actually, guys. No need to write it. 3x plus 5y plus, which is going to be 2z. Now same technique actually, guys. Same technique. Technique is the same technique actually, guys, which is going to be if I say test function of 10, 20, 30, the result is going to be coming like a 190. I'm not writing once again. If I give 10 and 20, I'll get 130. If I give only 10 also, it will works actually, guys. Result is going to be 30. Y will be taken as 0, z will be taken as 0. You will take x equal to, which is going to be 10. It is going to be 3 times the 10 is going to be 30. Even if I don't give any argument also, it will works actually, guys. No argument. Even if you don't pass any argument also, all of them will be 0. We'll get the 0 as a result. But here, if I have to minimum 2 arguments has to be given. Minimum 2 arguments, maximum 3. Here, minimum is 0, maximum is 3. Don't give more than that. Don't give more than that actually, guys. Like that, we can just control this kind of a functions. And very important actually, guys. So some people who has already have the idea about them, they knows about those particular application actually, guys. They knows about those particular application actually. Okay. So that is going to be the one what we are going to be gets doing this actually. But only thing is we should be knowing more and more about those particular applications. Okay. So that's the idea of how we are going to be working. Let us have a discussion about that. Same techniques I'm writing it actually, guys. We'll play with them actually. We'll play with them. Diff, which is going to be test function of, I said x is equal, sorry, x, y, and set z equal to 0. So minimum 2, maximum 3. Minimum 2, maximum 3 actually. Yes. Minimum 2 arguments are required. Same logic. Return. It is 3 times the x plus 5 times the y and 2 times the, which is going to be z is an output. Right. Now what I'm going to do it actually, guys. Call them test underscore function of. I executed, guys. So previous test function is now changed. Right? Otherwise, we'll do one thing. Make it as test function 1, not to have a confusion. Now you pass it 10, 20, 30. As usually, we'll get right 190. Again, which is going to be test underscore function 1 of 10, 20. It is 130. But whenever I said test function of 1 of, which is going to be only 10 if I give, I'll get an error. Saying that compulsory it has to provide 2 arguments. Missing one required argument called as a y. Even if you don't give the 10 also, you will get two arguments. Missing 2 required positional argument x and y. 2 are missing. Minimum requirement is going to be 2 actually, guys. If I give 1, I'll get an error. If I give 2, it will work. If I don't give anything, it is an error. If I give 1, it will be an error. If I give 2, it will work, but don't give more than the required 10, 20, 30, 40. If I give more than the required also, we'll get an error saying that it takes either 2 to 3 arguments, either 2 or either 3 it will take, but you have been given the 4 option. That means you can understand this. Whenever we got this message like 2 to 3 means it is nothing but it will take total 3 arguments. Out of that, 1 is optional. If it says that it is going to be takes 1, 2, 3 arguments means 1, 2, 3 arguments means it will take 3 arguments. Minimum is 1, maximum is going to be 3. Like that, we have to understand. Okay. So that is an idea. And here also we can call it by using any way you can call it. It is going to be 10, Z is equal to 30, Y is equal to 20. Anything is a fine case. We'll get the result like this actually, guys. Okay. So that is the idea of how we are going to be gets working with them. And that is going to be the technique actually. Okay. Again, do the same example, guys. So I don't want to just make it more and more kind of a clear, because now it is clear actually, guys. X is equal to 0, Y equal to 0, Z equal to 0. Sir, is it necessary to give only 0? No, you can give any value, guys. X is equivalent to 10, Y is equivalent to 10, Z is equivalent to 10. Done. Again, same technique. Return, which is going to be return. Again, I'm doing the same thing actually, guys. 3 times the X, which is going to be 5 times the Y, and which is going to be, it is going to be 2 times the, which is going to be Z actually. This time, if you don't give the value, by default, it will be taken as a 10, 10, 10 respectively. Call the function, guys. Test underscore. We'll make it function 2 actually, guys. Not function 1. We'll make it like a function 2. Function 2 of, I'm not giving any argument, guys. Then what happens now? 30 plus 50 plus 20. Right? 30 plus 50 plus 20, 100. Because all of them are going to be 10, 10, 10. Same technique. Test underscore function of, which is going to be, I said, which is 20. X is 20, remaining values are going to be 10 and 10. What is the values? We know that. So 20 is 23s are, which is going to be nothing but 60. 60 plus 50 is going to be 110. 110 plus, which is going to be 20. Sorry. Is it correct only? Yeah. It is going to be 110 plus 20. 130 is the result actually. Sorry. Test function 2, guys. Sorry, guys. I done a mistake. 130. Same as it is. Test function 2 of, if I said which is going to be 20 comma, let us say 30, or 20 comma, which is going to be anything 40. Then what will happen? X will be taken as 20, Y will be taken as 40, Z will be taken as 10 actually, guys. So no worries. 45s are going to be 200, and which is going to be 260 is the result what we can get it. Sorry, 280. 5 4s. Yeah. What happened? Is it correct? 60. Z is there now, guys. Yeah, it's correct only, guys. It is 280. 260 plus, which is going to be 2 into 10. There is one more argument is left over now. 10 will be the default value now. That's the reason 280. Otherwise, it is 260. Like that, you can just call all the functions as it is. We can call it as actually, guys. Which is going to be test function 2, which is going to be, I can pass whatever the values you want to pass it. As usually, 190. But don't give more than the required arguments, guys. Don't give more than that particular arguments actually, guys. If I give more than the arguments, you will get an error. See, guys, 0 to 3 positional arguments. So it will take no arguments. 1 argument, 2, 3. So it takes 3 arguments, guys. All these 3 arguments are having a default values. All the 3 arguments are having default values. Default value means optional. If you don't give the value, it will take some default value. That is going to be the one what we can see it actually, guys. So anywhere, whenever you see the function specification like this actually, guys, anywhere if you see the function specification like this, X equal to, Y equal to, Z equal to, that means that there are optional. They are not mandatory. They will take some default values, guys. Again, the same reason why I'm again insisting that much concept on this. Why? Because the same concept we are going to be using throughout our applications. Don't worry. pd.read underscore CSV. First of all, I told you there are so many arguments are there. So we can't remember the names. That's why we have to use the position keyword arguments. Now, second point I'm telling here is, see guys, only this is the one argument you have to give mandatorily. File path or buffer is a mandatory. Remaining all of them are default values, guys. See, for every argument, there is a default value is there. Separator is equal to, don't think that there is no default is there. There is no default. What do you mean to say no default means? You can see the documentation here now. Okay, what is meaning of no default means? By default, you can see it is going to be taken as n, comma is the default value, what it will take it. For every argument, delimiter, there is no delimiter. What is an header, infer? What are the names? What is index column? What are user columns? What are going to be the squeeze? What is prefix? What is manage underscore, mangle underscore, dupe underscore values? Okay, so all these, every argument is having a default value. Guys. If I don't give a comment, what is the default comment it will take? What is double quote? What is escape character? What is a dialect? Or everyone is having a parameter actually. Guys. So if you don't give the values of all these parameters, no worries. But mandatorily, we have to provide one argument. That is file path. Mandatorily, we have to give the file path. Remaining, you give it, don't give it, does not matter with that. So that is not only aware about only here only, guys. Everywhere, throughout the Python, everywhere we are going to be having it actually, guys. Don't worry. Just I'm showing the parameters actually, guys. See, there are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 arguments are there. Out of the 7 arguments, only the first argument is mandatory. Remaining arguments are optional. How can you say the remaining arguments are optional? Because we have a equal to id vars if you don't give, value vars if you don't give, value vars if you don't give, value name if you don't give, it is value. If I ignore the index, if I don't give it any value, default is going to be true. Like that, for every functionality you are learning, there is some kind of a default value. If I don't specify the default value, if there is a default value is there mean, if you don't give the value, it is going to take the default value as a concept, it will take it actually. Okay, so this is going to be the next basic concepts of functions, guys. So today what we have been learned, guys, what are positional arguments, what are keyword arguments, how to combine both of them, and what is going to be default values. Concept is simple, but a little bit more practice and more examples we have to do to understand this application. Why? Because I told you, Python is all about calling a function. Even if you don't know how to create a function in Python, does not matter. But must and should we have to know, you have to know how to call a function. You know that creating a function is a complicated, but calling a function is very easy. Everybody can call the function. If you know the function name and if you know the arguments, you can call any function, whatever. The function will take care about that. You need not to write any code and no need to write any logic from your side. Okay, so that is going to be for the today's class, guys. I'll do one thing, guys. Who has been already started with from the beginning classes, you guys can leave if you want. If you want, you can stay. Just today, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to explain like how to install the Jupyter Notebook. What is Jupyter Notebook? Just a 15-20 minutes class I'll take in, guys, so that the guys who has been missed the previous classes, they can understand it, because they can install and they can start working with that. That is the reason, even they don't have the Python, just they don't know anything about Python, at least to just understand the classes, whatever I'm explaining, they have to know like what is Jupyter Notebook, how to install it actually. So I'll just take some small 15-20 minutes of class. So guys who has been already know about how to install the Anaconda Python, it's an Anaconda Python actually, guys. I'll just tell you how to install the Anaconda Python. Just a 5-10 minutes, I just give an introduction, and after that I'll tell you how to install the Anaconda Python. So if anybody wants to stay, who has been already completed the installation of Anaconda Python, you can just leave the session, guys. Otherwise, if you want, if you're interested to again listen the class, you can stay in the class, guys. Yeah.
Sir, Kajal, sir,
Kajal.
the material is not updated yet.
Just morning and night I have been updated. Actually, I plan to just discuss about that only. Just 2 minutes. I'll show you the material. Just I have been updated. It's yesterday midnight. I have been got done it actually. Just let me show you once.
Okay.
Yeah, just a second. You got the access to the drive, right? So guys,
Yes.
who has been joined today, guys, if you have registered with the course, you will be getting the recorded videos like this actually, guys. Just a second. It is 9 AM batch, right? This one, right. So actually, I'll put all these videos. I don't have the permission to move, so I'll ask them to move it into separate folders. These are the videos. All the February videos, all the March videos will be separated. So I have shared some PDFs. So whatever we are discussing, for example, take the today's class. So this is going to be the functions.pdf. Okay. So this is going to be the function syntaxes, examples, whatever I have been got created, and functions, how to call the functions. And these are some of it's not yet discussed about that. What are the star arcs and all these things are not yet discussed. So next class it will come, and I told you about. So these are going to be how there are going to be calls the functions actually. So along with that, even each and every class, even the dictionaries, okay, what are conditional control statements, how to write them. So all these particular concepts are going to be there. You can just practice all those particular examples along with the whatever the class notes I have been got discussed with you. So if I just go ahead, you can see the PDFs, and every day, day to day class notes is also there, February and March. Okay, so don't worry guys, February it started means it started, but it didn't happen anything actually, small topics only. So you can see every day, whatever I have been got discussed, the PDF file I have been got loaded. And along with that, all that initially we have used .py files, no, those py files. Recently, yesterday's class, whatever we have been got open, which is going to be the Jupyter notebook, what we can do. You can just download it. But after downloading, what you have to do is you have to go to your Jupyter notebook and you have to upload the file. You cannot directly open the file. You have to just upload the file, and then automatically it will upload it and you can open the particular files. Okay, so this is what I have been got updated. So you can just go through that. Up to the last class, it has been got updated, 25th. So 26th is a holiday now. So 27th, we have to update it. Right, Kajal?
Yes, okay. So this all material is not yet uploaded.
This is uploaded.
Okay, uploaded now. Okay,
Yeah, it is
nice.
uploaded. You can just check it out in the drive once. This last night I have uploaded. You can see the same batch now, full stack data science, 9 a.m.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I will check.
You can check it out. So only
Yeah.
thing is PDFs are also there. Videos I'll upload. I don't recommend to put
So
like that.
video
Because
already is uploaded, right?
uploaded, but I'll ask them to put it in separate folders actually.
Okay.
Because you'll get confused with the folders actually. So February, March, like that, I'll make the put.
Okay, okay.
Okay, fine. If you have any problem,
Yeah.
you can just contact me once.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, right. Right, guys, who has been already completed the Anaconda Python, just they can leave the session, guys, if you want. Otherwise, if you want, you can stay. Just wait for 1 minute, guys. Just wait for 1 minute. Just I'll give a small break for 1 minute. Otherwise, just 2-3 minutes, guys. By 10:10, I'll start the session once again. It is already 10:07. So remaining, guys. Yeah. Hi,
Yeah.
Prashant. Yeah, Prashant.
Actually, I installed Jupyter Notebook, but
Okay.
it's showing kernel not connected.
It may be the problem actually. I have to just check it. Sometimes the kernels may not be installed properly. Have you installed Jupyter Notebook or have you installed Anaconda Python?
Anaconda Python.
Just I have to check it out then. I don't recommend to uninstall it and again install it. Again, takes a time-taking process, and you'll get some problem also. You do one thing, Prashant. Just maybe in the afternoon or something like that. If you are free, you can just ping me once. You can just connect on a one-on-one session, and I can just access your system.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, please just ping me on the WhatsApp group once.
Yeah.
Okay.
What time can I?
At any time in the post lunch, any post lunch,
Okay.
after post lunch, you can just.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. Yeah, guys. I think yeah, remaining guys, I think they have been joined for the today's class or maybe a last couple of classes. So just give me a minute, guys. I will be back. Just please be online. I'll be guys just back in 1 minute, and just I'll start the session, guys. Just please be online. Yeah, guys. Yeah. So let's continue, guys. Anyone having any questions, guys? Just before going ahead, if we have any questions, I can just clarify some. I can just answer you some of your questions, and we can go ahead. Yeah. Anyone, guys? Any questions from your side? If you have. No questions, guys. No one. Okay. So, guys, maybe this is what I can call it as a Jupyter notebook, actually, guys. So maybe some of you have been seen or some of you have been not seen the Jupyter notebook. So that is the reason just I want to clarify it actually, guys. So what is Jupyter notebook and how to install it in your system so that you can just start working on the applications. Even if you do not have any much idea also, you can just work with them. Okay. So let me tell you guys, like we all of you know that whenever we are working with any particular language, we have to know about some IDE, some environment is required actually, guys. Like we know that when you want to work with Java, we are going to work with Eclipse. Whenever we are going to work with .NET, we are going to work with Visual Studio. So you know this, no, guys. So we know that Visual Studio, who will use as the Visual Studio actually, guys, which is going to be the .NET programmers will use this. And who is going to be used as the Eclipse? Eclipse is going to be used by, which is mostly by the Java programmers will use it. Same as it is, whenever we want to work with Python, what are the different IDEs that are provided actually, guys, or what are the IDEs that are available? You know what is an IDE actually, guys? An IDE is nothing but just like an environment. It's an environment, integrated development environment actually, guys. The environment which will help you to do your programming or to write the code for a particular language, what we are going to do it actually, guys. Okay. So how we are going to be gets working with them actually, guys? How we are going to be gets working with them? Okay. So to understand that, we have a different types of IDs are going to be some kind of an convenient actually, guys. Easily we can perform those operations easily, very easily we can write the code, debugging, everything is going to become easy, mainly time saving process. IntelliSense will work automatically. What are the recommendations? What is, whether it's a keyword is where it is wrong, all these things we have we'll have all the advantages. So to work with the Python, we have a different IDEs are there actually, guys. I'll tell you a different IDEs. The first IDE is going to be PyCharm, guys. Generally, it is going to be used by Python developers. It is mainly used by Python professionals and Python developers actually, guys. PyCharm is one of a very popular IDE, which was developed by a company called as JetBrains. JetBrains is a company which was mainly, their main products are different types of IDEs. Not only PyCharm, there are so many different types of IDEs are there. If you want, you can go to jetbrains.com and you can verify it, guys. PyCharm is there, okay, PHP Storm, Golang. We have a different languages, different IDEs. Mainly their products are IDEs only, guys. The main company products are going to be IDEs for different languages. They develop a different IDEs. Generally used by Python developers, so I don't use it, guys. Second one is going to be, we are having something called as an Spider. Spider is also developed by an open source community actually, guys. It is developed by an open source community. So this open source community means it's a free, which is going to be anybody can use it. And it's an open source also. Spider-ide.org. If you want, you can go there. But who uses them actually, guys? It is mostly used for, which is going to be scientific computing. They'll use us actually, guys. It is going to be used by mostly by the scientific computing people. Mostly by the scientific computing people uses. So I don't use the Spider also actually, guys. So no PyCharm, no Spider. If you want, you can just check it out actually, guys. So I can just show you like from where you have to download the PyCharm. It is JetBrains. It's the name of the company is jetbrains.com. Go to the jetbrains.com, guys. You can see a different types of developer tools are there. PyCharm, PHP Storm, Golang. We are having so many actually, guys, which is going to be RubyMine, WebStorm is there. IntelliJ IDEA is going to be there. Different IDEs we have it actually, guys. But I don't recommend. If you want, you can download it actually, guys. PyCharm, there is a community edition will be there. There is a professional edition will be there. Which one you want to download, we can download it actually, guys. Community means free of cost, but with the limited features only it will come. But if you want to have more, you have to use the professional editions. Okay. If you want, you can download this actually, guys. Second one is going to be Spider. It is going to be Spider hyphen, which is sorry, it is going to be Spider hyphen IDE, which is going to be hyphen IDE.org. It is also going to be one of the popular tool, basically for scientific calculations, for scientific development. We can see it actually, guys. See, guys, even the by picture only we can see something like a 3D view, some kind of a radar example, some kind of a satellite images. Mostly for scientific computing, they use this actually, guys. For mostly for the scientific computing, so we don't use it. Then what is the third one actually, guys? We are going to be using something called as a Jupyter notebook. We are going to use it actually, guys. A Jupyter notebook, which is also from an open source community only, but it is completely like a web-based. It is completely web-based. We have already seen now, guys, one web page is opening. In the web page, we are going to be working actually, guys. A web page basically recommended for the data science and the data analyst people, the data science and data analyst, those people are going to be users this Jupyter notebook actually, guys. This is what we have to install it. Okay, again, if you want, we can see it actually, guys, which is going to be Jupyter, which is going to be Jupyter.org. It is Jupyter.org actually, guys. You can see the Jupyter lab. We also have a different products are there. I'm going to be using Jupyter notebook actually, guys. A Jupyter notebook is an original web application for creating and sharing some kind of a computational documents. It offers a simple, streamlined, document-centric experience. Mostly data science people uses this one, guys. Don't install anything. You can see the install the notebook. Don't do anything, guys. Don't install anything. Don't install anything from here. I'll tell you how to install it actually. Or even we are having something like the other popular one is going to be VS Code actually, guys. Visual Studio Code. This also we don't recommend actually, guys. It is going to be Visual Studio Code, what we are going to call it as actually, guys. A Visual Studio Code. VS Code, what we call it as. Generally, it is developed by Microsoft, and which is going to be a lightweighted Visual Studio. You can use this Visual Studio Code, but not recommended for our developers actually. Our data science and data analyst people don't recommend them. So how to get this Jupyter notebook actually, guys? So instead of installing this Jupyter notebook, because Python is going to be some collection of contributions, you have to download all that contributions manually. Instead of that one, there is something called as a Python distribution called as, which is going to be an Anaconda Python actually, guys. It is Anaconda Python. What is an Anaconda Python actually, guys? It is a one of the Python distribution. Simply to say that, what do you mean to say Python distribution means, guys? They will take the Python source code, because Python is an open source. They will add some features and they will be releasing as their distributions. So Python, Anaconda Python is one such type of a Python distribution, which is basically designed for, it is actually created for by data scientists. It is basically designed by data scientists for data scientists. They are actually created by data scientists. For a data scientist only, it has been got created. If you want to download this particular one, go to anaconda.com actually, guys. Anaconda.com. Go to anaconda.com. So which is going to be a platform actually, guys, which is developed by data scientists for data scientists only. Developed by data scientists for data science people. That is what this particular Anaconda Python says that actually. Here we have a different types of products will be there, which we have to install is going to be the Anaconda distribution. We have to download it, guys. This is an open source, free. Remaining are costlier. You have to pay some money, but Anaconda distribution, there's a cloud-based is also there actually, guys. If you want, we can work with the cloud-based, this one also, but work with the desktop-based application, local system actually, guys. Anaconda distribution. So open the Anaconda distribution actually, guys. Free distribution to install. Thousands of most fundamental data science, AI, ML packages. Okay, deploy across hardware and software platforms. It's like a repository actually, guys. A lot of functionalities will come. Everything is ready to use. If you don't work here, we have to install everything and we have to work with them. Better to go for download, guys. Don't work in the cloud. Better to download. So just click on the download, guys, and you have to install. I'm not showing the installation procedure, guys. Why? Because installation is a next process. There is nothing to do actually, guys. It supports all operating system, Mac, Windows, Linux, any operating system is supported. You can just click on next option only. We can do it actually, guys. No need to do anything. If you install this Anaconda distribution, guys, all of them is going to be comes like a package. So see guys, Jupyter notebook will come, Spider will come, Jupyter notebook will come, Spider also will come. Apart from that, all these are the Python libraries, guys. NumPy, Pandas, Scikit-learn, Bokeh, TensorFlow, PyTorch, okay, SciPy. All these are going to be something like a package, like a repository. It will come actually, guys. Anaconda repository. Our repository features over 8,000 open source data science and machine learning packages. So this specifically, this Anaconda Python was basically developed and created by data scientists for data science people. It is developed by data scientists, and which is going to be, you can see Anaconda was built by data scientists for a data scientist only. Okay, a specific platform, mostly data science people will use this. So compulsory, guys, when you go for an, if you go to the data science streamline, compulsory we have to know Anaconda. Without having Anaconda, we cannot say that I have been working on data science, because every data scientist prefer to, any data science project you're working, compulsory they'll uses this Anaconda Python actually, guys. Anaconda is a Python distribution, what we have to do that. Okay, so just what we have, once again, guys, just go to Anaconda distribution, open source. Okay, just download and install it actually, guys. I'm not downloading because in my system it is already downloaded and already installed. Somewhere around 600 MB or something will be there. It may take some time, guys, maybe 15-20 minutes it may take, but not more than that. Just start the installation. Next. That's it. It will be installed, guys. How to open the Jupyter notebook? That is the main important thing. Very simple, guys. Once if you install the Anaconda Python, you can see something called as an Anaconda 3 here, guys. Okay, there are so many options are there. Can you see, guys? There is a spider is there. Very simple, guys. Just click on the Jupyter notebook. Just very simple. Every day I'll use it. Generally, in your class, I don't open it, guys. Why? Because previous class I already opened the Jupyter notebook. No. So see, guys, there is one small pop-up window has been open, a console application. Don't close this window, guys. Don't close this window. If you close this window, Python, the Jupyter notebook does not work. Loading Jupyter notebook as a classic notebook. Okay, and you can see it actually, guys. Don't close it, guys. You have to minimize it. It should be running as it is. This is your Jupyter notebook homepage, guys. Very simple, very easy. So if I want to already have saved the file actually, guys. See, today's file have been already saved. You can open the file. Whatever I have been discussed today, I'm going to. So I'll share you this file in the drive actually, guys. From the drive, you can download and you can use it in your Jupyter notebook. If you want to open a new Jupyter notebook, guys, simply you have to click on the new button, go to the Python 3. Over. Just very simple technique actually, guys. Nothing to know the environment. Slowly, once you start working, you can understand it. Write the code, whatever the code you want to write, guys. Write the code, whatever you want to write the code, and just we have to execute, guys. How to execute, guys? Simply either you have to press the run button, or I'm going to be using Control plus Enter actually, guys. See, Control Enter. I'm going to be using the shortcut key actually, guys. All the shortcut keys will be available here. Slowly we'll understand, guys. Don't worry. Slowly we'll understand the shortcut keys one by one. So many shortcut keys are there. Whenever we want to run a cell, we are having Control plus Enter. Run the selected cell. This is what we call it as a cell. Just we have to run the particular cell, guys. That's it, guys. Okay. So please install this Anaconda Python, guys. Once again, I'm telling, please install the Anaconda Python actually, guys. Okay. And even if you don't have the knowledge of Python, don't worry, because tomorrow's class I'll complete all the functions, guys. From day after tomorrow, I'll start with the main concepts which are going to be required, guys. Okay. From there, the main concept, these are only just prerequisites. Just if you know what is a list, how to slice a list, how to index a list, if you know that, that is sufficient, guys. Beyond that, it is not required. Beyond that, it is not required. I have explained some concepts, but all concepts are not utilized. Only some few concepts are going to be required actually, guys. Okay. So that is going to be the one which we can see as of this particular techniques. Okay. So please install it, guys. In the next class, I'm going to show you a little bit more concepts, whatever you have been got missed, so that you can cover those particular applications. Beyond that, you can learn the things by yourself, guys. Okay. So that's it from my side for the today's class, guys. If you have any questions, I can just answer the question for another 5 minutes and we can end up the session, guys. Yeah, guys, any questions? Anyone?
Sir, Manish here.
Yeah, Manisha.
Sir, Anaconda Python, sir, is it
Hmm.
like a different compiler of the like Python version
It's a
only?
Python compiler only. It's a Python distribution, what we call it. It's not a version. It's an open source, no? They will take the source code, they will add up the features, and they will send it. They will release it actually. So
Okay.
for the data scientist people, they have created their own environment. That is what the Anaconda Python. For example, Intel is there. Intel has developed their own distribution actually. That is what we call it as Intel Python, what we are going to call it as. But we don't use Intel Python here now. Who is going to use the Intel Python? Who is going to be works on CPUs and all these things will be there? No, those will be used as that. See, it is an Intel distribution for Python. Like that, everybody will develop their own frameworks. That means they will develop their own, according to the requirement, they will develop their own frameworks. They will develop their own, whatever the libraries, they will create it actually. So for that particular purpose, they will be users. So see, they will be using on CPU cores, laptops, desktops, and powerful servers. They will be using actually. We don't want that. So we are going to be using Anaconda Python. It's another distribution actually.
Okay,
If you just say Anaconda Python, you will come to know about that. It's a Python distribution, what we call it as.
Okay, okay.
Internal users Python compiler only. It will comes with Python only. Okay, it comes with Python only, but 3.7 or 3.9 version will come, not with the 3.11 what we are going to be using.
So then once Python compiler itself will update, right? So they all will be updating their features even, right?
Obviously,
Okay,
they will have to update it.
Okay, got it.
Okay,
Thank
because
you.
open sources, no, they will be also easily they will be integrated without having any problem.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Anyone, guys? Any questions?
No, sir.
Yeah, fine. No, fine, right. So thank you, guys. Thanks for today.
Sir,
Yeah, Ishwari,
this is Ishu. Yeah.
Ishwari.
Sir, just wanted to know for how many months this course is, sir?
4 months it will take it. 4 to 5 months it will take it.
4 to 5 months. Sure, sir.
Because topics are too many topics are there, and everything we have to start from the scratch because we don't know anything about analysis, visualization, cleaning. Everything we have to do it from the scratch. That's why it will take some time. 4 to 5 months it will take it.
Sure, sure, sir.
Okay, fine.
And the classes are 6 days or 5 days, sir?
6 days a week.
6 days. Sure, sir.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thanks
Sorry,
for today. Yeah.
sir, there is one question.
Yeah.
So there are recorded videos shared with us, okay? So those videos till like the till functions, right? We need to watch and then
Till the function. It's not mandatory. Immediately is not required. Later also you can learn it. So don't be hurry about that because anyhow you are having the tomorrow at a time. Don't try to study all of them if you're not familiar with that Python. Slowly you study that. Meanwhile, daily 2 videos, 3 videos like that. Practice a little bit and then work with that. Anyhow, in the coming classes, we don't require that much. All these things are not required. But maybe I'll tell you some topics in the tomorrow, like list and etc. require. Those topics you will just learn it. That is sufficient with that.
okay, and tomorrow onwards we will continue further from the functions, right?
Yeah, functions concept. Tomorrow I'll complete the functions, and from then onwards the main topics will start.
Okay.
Okay.
Tomorrow
Right.
at the same time. That's
Same time, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks all of you guys. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time, same link with the same timing, guys. Thank you all of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.